Really struck by how the light is hitting these cobwebs. Shooting in natural light's amazing because the sun moves across the sky, and so at any given time of day, the things that the light is hitting are going to look totally different, and just for a few minutes every day, these cobwebs look completely amazing. These cobwebs look to me like they've been here for a good long while. You can see that some of the leaves that they've caught have started to turn brown. What's really interesting, what caught my eye on the way past, was how the sun, which is right here, just overhead and coming straight into the lens, really picks them out. It's reflecting off them really beautifully and kind of making the most of just how many there are. There are absolutely dozens of them perhaps. We've got some busy spiders around here. What I'm interested in here photographically is getting the light to do something really interesting. The frame here, I think, is going to be one that has a bit of lens flare in it. Lens flare is when light hits the lens and then kind of refracts, bounces randomly throughout the elements of the lens, gives you these really cool looking effects, beloved of course of sci-fi movies, but also apparently of landscape nature photographers. Lens flare is where light comes in, scatters, and picks out all of these different kind of colours and geometry within the lens. It looks really interesting. It's why you see it so much in films, especially sci-fi. Now, from here as I move around, the light scatters a bit, and the key is going to be finding a frame where I've got lots of light bouncing off a cobweb, but also giving me a bit of a reduction in contrast, if you like, kind of flattening the image out. Is going to look really cool. The rest of it is going to be, there's a bit of lens flare just across the bottom of the frame. I'm going to tap to focus, and I'm also going to use my exposure compensation here. I'm going to drag that down to reduce the highlights a little bit because I don't want to burn out the brightest parts of the image. I'm going to take a couple of different images. I'm going to bear in mind that I might not see the lens flare as I shoot, so I'm going to take an absolute pile of images here, move around a bit, see if I can get the light to kind of bounce in different places as it comes through the leaves of the trees. But I'm pretty sure that something in here is going to look atmospheric, to say the least. And so from here, I'm going to shoot a bit more. I'm going to check my hair for spiders, and then I'm going to see what we've made. I have to say that for a bunch of photos of old cobwebs, these pictures look really cool, and I think this frame in particular does a really nice job of showing the potential of the scene. You can see that the sun is coming in from the far right hand corner of the frame there, kind of flaring gently through the trees and then picking out the green leaves in the background, and then this cobweb over on this side of the frame with an extra little bonus lens flare at the bottom of the frame as well. I really like it. It doesn't have quite as much impact, or maybe the composition isn't quite what I was hoping for, but it is nonetheless a pretty cool looking image. This image I really like just for the sheer quantity of cobwebs. I mean, as a documentary photo, I think this is just really cool. It's really interesting looking. There are, what is that, dozens of cobwebs in there, I think. I'm not crazy about the exposure. I think this cobweb at the top looks very bright to me. Some of the green's a little bit hot perhaps, and there's no lens flare, which is one of the things that I thought gave this scene such potential. So I might leave this one on the floor, at least in terms of sharing it, but it's a keeper for me nonetheless. This image I think looks super cool. I really like how the sun is kind of bursting through the leaves of this tree at the top. I think the exposure, though I say so myself, is fairly spot on. I've got lots of nice blue sky in there, kind of contrasting with these lovely vibrant greens, and then I love how the sun is hitting these cobwebs down here and giving you something really interesting to look at. I also really like the way that the sun is flaring through the rest of the frame and giving you a little bit of interest down at the bottom as well. So this is my pick of the bunch.